Hello. So, um, yeah, this video is essentially talking about the social power of the world. So if you see this blank canvas that is probably not blinding your eyes, but totally is for me. So, basically, whenever you talk about like a social structure, right? Like you've heard of social structure. Whenever you're taught it in like a school or something, you're always sort of shown it as this, right? Like, they take this, they draw a bunch of lines, and they call this a social structure. This I do not find as a social structure. Because it's widely disproportionate of how our society works. Because if I were to grab the text tool here, and I were to say the government, I'm talking about the U.S. by the way, because we're a representative government, which is just it's just a way of saying, oh yeah, so let's just tell them we're capitalist without telling them we're capitalist. That's what it all means. So here would be the government. And because we focus on these big things, sure, the government might have all this power. We have rich people. Like I'm talking multimillionaires, billionaires, people like that. Then the next logical thing would be military. Then common folk. This is a lie. Because this is not how big it is. The rich people, a lot smaller. The government is teeny. So, if you really want to do it, what I found the best... Oh. That happened. Look, I don't need a rectangular salon. So basically, there we go. This is more. I think of it as something completely different. So, it might be a two-part series or something. So, I think of it instead of triangles as circles, but mapped out. Let's think of it as a better shape. I don't want to do that. Let's use hexagons. They're my favorite shape. So basically how it works is we have right here. This is essentially what we're going to call president. The president has so little power. Nobody realizes this. The president has less power than the common folk. Sure, he can pass laws. There's a much bigger thing that would surround this. Think about this. There's a shape that would surround the president. This is why we're called a representative government. Because it's literally just a capitalist society. So essentially, up here now, so surrounding the president would be the House of Representatives and those people. It's basically rest of government. If you want, this is already a bigger step than most other charts you would have. Because the president, you know what? Let's just do this. Okay, so I'm gonna put this blue. The president. you think about it. Okay, so if you think about it, the president has a lot less power. Here, let me put a text layer over it that is black. Okay, so here would be the... Think of this. The president is a lot... It's sort of in this blue in caps. It's sort of like kept in this blue little thing. It's sort of... It's dependent on the rest of the government. Because, think about this. We're saying, I can describe the government as one way, in a couple of words. Basically, a college student, a college med student. Think about this. A med student still has some power, but not as much power as a but the med students don't have any power. It's the schools, the rest of the government. Essentially, all the president does is work and make suggestions for that the rest of the government goes, yeah, let's do that, or let's not do that. Now, the government. Now, this is where everything gets complicated. Because inside around the government. Now, let's draw 2 lines out, okay? Okay, this box right here, it's not to scale at all. But I think you can see where I'm going with this. I'll just delete you. How about this? This shape right here, we just call common people. Actually, no. Actually, yeah, just common people. Common folk. So, why is it centered? Why is it put around the government? The common people reflect on who the president's going to be. But the thing is, it isn't always like that. There's another force at play. This is why nobody can create a correct social structure. Because it's split off. It's split off by the board. Whatever that thing is called, that group of people they swear are college students. Who I've always thought of it as college students for some reason. Do not judge me at all. Oh jeez. I've always sort of seen them as college people. But basically, all they do is intervene with what the common people want as their president. Like, the fact that even though Hillary won the vote, Donald Trump got elected. And do you know what happened after that? He was threatening World War III. For some reason, American history is all about World War III now. So yeah, I'm just gonna have... See ya in 2050. I can't wait for those history lessons. And basically... Now this is still extremely unearthing. I still can't make a traditional board. Because now I need to go back to my hexagons. There's something... Okay, so this... You can represent this as poor people. Middle class. And the rich. Poor. I'm lucky enough to be growing up in a middle class house where I have a computer, we have a Nintendo Switch. Like, I'm lucky to be growing up this. But still, there's billions of different... Let's write this right here. Millions of subs. It isn't just one or two. There are millions of subsections. I'm in this million subsection thing. This is where everything gets so complicated. Then you have up here the rich people. Okay? So the rich people up here sort of have this, like, it's hard to describe. These rich people sort of have the power over these people, but then this happens too. The rich people give to the poor. Do you see the problem here? There's always somebody that isn't getting accounted for. Do you see my problem now? The middle class is complete. You what? Giving. Okay, now. The middle class is straight up unaccounted for. Think about this for a second. Doesn't hurt you. The middle class is literally unaccounted for. And then we don't even talk about homeless. I do you, and then, you know what? I'm not even gonna put that in there. They're not even hexagon worthy. They're trapezoid. This is trapezoid. This could be homeless. And then, you know what? It looks like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's just give them. And then, do you know what I say? It's like, do why they're unaccounted for? Boy. The pyramid of power. Okay, hold on, I just realized something. You can hardly see this at all. Oh, well, that completely just screw with it. But yeah, here, let me just zoom in for this real fast. Look. Not that much. Here. Here's what you can see. So, rich people, okay, so recap before I end this video. Rich people have power over the middle class and the poor. The middle class is unaccounted for. The poor is given. But this is getting, and the homeless is a complete suburb from poor. Basically, the pyramid of power is the one we're going to talk about. The rich need to have all the power. The homeless need to be the lowest. It needs to be a ton of them for some reason. So that not as much is being given them. The president is now getting is basically overshadowed by the rest of the government. The common people are basically giving power to the president, basically picking him as the president. But then the board can just completely cross that off and pick exactly which president based off votes. There we go. That's all the time I have for today, and I'm going to continue this video later.